Firefighters of Reddit. What's the dumbest person you had to save in a stupid situation? Welcome to Reddit Cinema. Take a seat and enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, hit the subscribe button below, and hit the bell to never miss a video. Dumbest tried to cross a raging river in 0-degree weather about a 300-foot span on a snowmobile. He lived but didn't make the crossing, and the machine was recovered days later. This is the same response I gave with a dumbfounded look on my face when we received the call. We proceeded to the address to see a bird, you guessed it, in a tree. It was the goddamn highest palm tree I've ever seen. This one guy on our crew loved to play the hero. So of course, with the ladies looking, he wanted to do the heroic act. We said okay, sunshine have it. We put the ladder out and off he went to rescue this bird. Turns out the bird had its leg caught in one of the palms. I should also add that a wild bird stuck in a tree in a state of pure panic is going to be pissed off. I don't know what was louder, the bird squawking and biting him, his screams, or us on the ground laughing. Obligatory not a fireman, but they were most definitely involved. I used to work in a New York City public grammar school over the summers to pay for college back in the 90s. One of the full-time employees was a nice guy but stupid. And I don't mean he was slow or anything. He just did dumb shit because he was careless. One time he loaded up a trailer with like 25 gallons of gasoline and was driving it back through the main school parking lot. He didn't realize that container cracked open and spilled all 25 gallons in the parking lot. He didn't want to get in trouble, so he thought the best way to get rid of the evidence was to set the gas on fire. He didn't realize that burning gas gives off a lot of black smoke, and a gigantic cloud of black smoke coming from a school generally attracts a lot of attention from first responders. Panicking, he tries to put the flaming lake of gas out by driving over it with his car. The fire department gets there, screaming at him to stop driving his car through flaming gasoline. They finally get the fire out and just screamed at this guy for like 25 minutes. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Obligatory not a firefighter, but recently in San Diego a group of suburban moms decided to take their infants up the local hiking spot called Cowell's Mountain. It's not a particularly grueling hike as many children and elderly people can do it. However, there is a heat stroke warning posted at the trailhead. Not to mention it can get pretty hot here, and this last week was no exception with temperatures exceeding 90 degrees. Well, these idiots took their infants up in this heat. The trail is pretty exposed, and due to its easy accessibility and Instagram worthiness, lots of inexperienced hikers flock to it, many times with little to no water, because they underestimated how hot and difficult it could be. Needless to say, the fire department or EMS and chopper were all called as these moms had taken their babies up and were too tired and exhausted to come down. They had to go up and give water, check their conditions, and some even carried the babies down. I know fires are a lot hotter, but I bet they were cursing out these moms in their heads as they had to hike up the mountain in pretty much full gear. The moms came strolling down laughing and flipping off the cameras as they were angry people were going to see their stupidity. This happened all because they wanted to take a group photo with their infants on a mountain on a hot day. Edit. 2 kids and 2 infants.
We have people that are stupid.
Not a firefighter, but my uncle used to be one. He told me a story about a person he was training to become a firefighter. Said person didn't follow protocol regarding belts that they had to fasten around their bodies. When the person was performing a drill that involved getting suspended in air, a loose part of the belt caught his testicle as he was midair with all his weight crushing it. My uncle got him out of there, and he had to go to the hospital.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go ahead and write you a prescription for 2 testicles, and you feel free to get this filled out.
Now that's a lot of damage!
One time had a little short guy stuck with a door knob up his ass. We just took the door knob off and let them remove it at the hospital.
Why?
Another guy during some bad storms stored his generator gas in open 5-gallon paint buckets in his garage. Lit his gas grill in the garage. He and his cat both lived.
Except
My friend's former roommate was a firefighter. I describe him like this, and not as my friend, because he's actually a total dick, but he's still a firefighter, so he saves lives. Anyway, I was over at their place one day, and firefighter Dave comes home looking exhausted. We could smell the smoke on him, so we knew he had seen some action that day. We asked him about it, and he just got this really sad, but humid look in his eye. An Instagram model has set her apartment building on fire by filling her room with candles for some photo shoot where she would pretend to be doing yoga in the middle of hundreds of candles. But she saw a spider sitting on one of the lit candles. So she sprayed some Raid at it. The room pretty much ignited extremely quickly, and, in her fear, she threw the bottle of Raid at the fire, and then hid in her shower across the hall. She was still in the apartment when Dave kicked in the door and carried her out, her apartment engulfed in flames. She was close to passing out from smoke inhalation, so Dave had to cradle her in his arms. As he carries her to the window, to be lowered on a ladder, she says wait. Dave stops, thinking she is about to tell him about someone else that needs rescuing. She meekly lifts her phone and snaps a selfie, making the duck face and everything. Flames in the background. Apparently by the time he left, the Instagram model had posted the photo to her profile, and it was already getting tons of likes. From what I hear, though, she did kill the spider. So technically she wasn't a total moron.
I speak?
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. Now get out of here.
I'm not a firefighter, but I used to do a lot of disaster response work. Hurricane Flood Yard, Eastern NC. I had a farmer with a large family that refused to evacuate his house. Stubborn bastard. River had broke loose. Floodwaters were coming up fast, and the police had given up on changing his mind. I drove my truck right up into his yard, rolled down the window, and asked him to dress his kids in something orange or bright yellow. He asked me why, and I said, so body recovery will be able to distinguish them from all the dead pigs floating around. He told me to f*** off, but 5 minutes later he had the whole family in the vehicle, and they got the hell out.
Come with me if you want to live.
Former firefighter or EMT, easily the dumbest person I encountered, was a mother of 4 who decided it would be an awesome idea to get a Facebook or Instagram worthy picture of her kids, all under age 10, sitting in a rowboat. Mother untied it from the dock and thought she'd just pull them back with a rope that she forgot to hold on to. They floated a half-mile down the river before the 2 oldest boys managed to grab a branch hanging over the bank. It was really surreal to see 4 young kids, all in matching clothing, sitting in a boat waiting to be rescued. I have no clue what happened after, but they were physically fine, just scared, a little tired, but the mom was in full-blown panic mode and kept getting in our way. I hope she's making better choices now.
Down, get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
Calm down now, get back to your seat.
Years ago we had this call straight out of Caddyshack. Some guy had gotten tired of this gopher ruining his yard. Little did he know though he was facing the Sun Tzu of gophers. The homeowner, dwelling upon his experience from Vietnam, decided that the best way to deal with the gopher was to treat the situation like a VC tunnel. Instead of a frag grenade he poured a 5-gallon can of gasoline down the gopher hole, waited with a varmint gun, and lit it off. The ensuing explosion caused a small crater to form in his yard. I'm still thoroughly impressed that there was a proper fuel to air ratio in the network of tunnels that allowed for such an explosion to happen. However, the gopher refused to surrender without a fight. The gopher ran out of the hole engulfed in flames, causing the guy's yard to catch on fire. The gopher sprinted into the guy's shed still on fire, and burrowed into a void space in the wall, where he died. Like the martyr perk from Modern Warfare, his still flaming remains set the inside of the wall on fire as well as several flammables. In the end the guy's backyard was ruined, and about a quarter of his shed burned down, taking out a bunch of power tools and a 0-turn mower. He definitely would have saved a few $1,000s if he had hired an exterminator.
Stop laughing.
A A motorist had a bad alternator and the car died while she or he was driving. The electric lock control stopped working. We were dispatched for a person trapped in a motor vehicle. On arrival, the advice was given to manually lift the lock knob. You can easily tell the ones who will not survive the first 24 hours of the zombie apocalypse.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Dude picked up a metal ring from a hardware store in lieu of paying for an ring. It got stuck. He went to the hospital. The hospital called the fire department because a Dremel tool turned out to be the right tool for the job. Some firefighters rescue children from burning orphanages. Some get Fluffy out of a tree. Some pull grandma out of a fiery car wreck. And some cut a steel ring off of some dude's dick.
No, we're gonna get. We'll dry you off.
Very dumb.
I once had a firefighter tell me he almost died in a house fire while going back into the house to look for the owner. A neighbor was concerned about why the firefighter was still in the residence, so he asked another firefighter. This is about how the exchange went. Neighbor, why is that fireman still in the house? Firefighter, he's looking for the owner of the home. Neighbor, he is right over there with the video camera. Turns out the owner did not think it was important to alert the fire department he was out of the house. Instead, he was just taking video of the whole event. The fire started because the owner had tried to smother his barbecue cooker flame with leftover wood from the siding that had been installed on his home. The owner did not realize it would burn. Burned his whole house down.
Punch yourself in the face right now so that I don't have to.
That's all folks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Make sure to share the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it.